Good evening. Welcome to Faith and Finance. Today is November 19th. That means that we are on chapter 19 of Proverbs in our November Proverbs Challenge. If you missed yesterday, chapter 18 was about the temptation of isolation. As with every other day, if you missed any chapters, please go back and watch those videos. If you don't want to watch the video, that's fine. Just read the chapters. Please comment, like, and share on the videos. That way we can get this word out to more people. And again, I just want to get a dialect started on each of the chapters, get people speaking about God's word, get us all learning from each other. So this is a book of wisdom. Proverbs is all about wisdom, and let's help each other grow in wisdom. So let's go ahead and get started on chapter 19. Better to be poor and honest than to be dishonest and a fool. Enthusiasm without knowledge is no good. Haste makes mistakes. People ruin their lives by their own foolishness, and then are angry at the Lord. Wealth makes many friends. Poverty drives them all away. A false witness will not go unpunished, nor will a liar escape. Many seek favors from the ruler. Everyone is a friend to a person who gives. The relative of the poor despises them. How much more will their friends avoid them? Though a poor plead with them, their friends are gone. To acquire wisdom is to love yourself. People who cherish understanding will prosper. A false witness will not go unpunished, and a liar will be destroyed. It isn't right for a fool to live in luxury, or for a slave to rule over princes. Sensible people control their temper. They earn respect by overlooking wrongs. The king's anger is like a lion's roar, but his favor is like dew on the grass. A foolish child is a calamity to his father. A quarrelsome wife is annoying as constant dripping. Fathers can give their sons an inheritance of houses and wealth, but only the Lord can give an understanding wife. Lazy people sleep soundly, but idleness leaves them hungry. Keep the commandments and keep your life. Despising them leads to death. If you help the poor, you are lending to the Lord, and he will repay you. Discipline your children while there is hope, otherwise you will ruin their lives. Hot-tempered people must pay the penalty. If you rescue them once, you will do it again. Get all the advice and instruction you can, so you will be wise the rest of your life. You can make many plans, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Loyalty makes a person attractive. It is better to be poor than dishonest. Fear of the Lord leads to life, bringing security and protection from harm. Lazy people take food in their hand, but don't even lift it to their mouth. If you punish a mocker, the simple-minded will learn a lesson. If you correct the wise, they will be all the wiser. Children who mistreat their father or chase away their mother are an embarrassment and a public disgrace. If you stop listening to instruction, my child, you will turn your back on knowledge. A corrupt witness makes a mockery of justice. The mouth of the wicked gulps down evil. Punishment is made for mockers, and the backs of fools are made to be beaten. That was a lot of good nuggets in there. There was a lot of really good verses in there. So let's go ahead and read through what the study Bible says, and then I might probably go back and touch on a couple key points that I noticed, because the study Bible only has for verses 1 through 3. I'm going to go ahead and read those again just so we know what it's talking about. It says, better to be poor and honest than to be dishonest and a fool. Enthusiasm without knowledge is no good. Haste makes mistakes. People ruin their lives by their own foolishness and then are angry at the Lord. So it says, money never cures foolishness and dishonesty, and it often amplifies it. These verses teach that wisdom is better than wealth, that careful research leads to better results and reckless action, and that blaming God for one's own mistakes is a mark of a foolish person. The interpretation says, the book of Proverbs says much about the differences between wisdom and foolishness. Since our lives can be ruined by a quick and foolish decision, we should try to develop wisdom while we are young. However, we can grow wiser at any age as we study and apply God's truth. When we do make mistakes, we must not blame God or become angry with him, since this leads only to bitterness and resentment. So if you look at that says money never cures foolishness and dishonesty. It often amplifies them. I've heard a lot of people over my life saying that they don't want to get rich because they don't want money to change them, or that money changes people, and just people have that idea that if they start gaining more money, that it's going to change their personality and it's going to make them a different person. I will tell you right now, and the Bible just clarified it, money does not change people. Money amplifies with who they already are. If you have and it's whether you have a lot of money or you have little money, it's going to really tell who you are. Because I know some very, very wealthy people that are some of the kindest, most generous people on earth. I also know some very, very poor people that are the most greedy, negative people on earth. So the whole point of money is going to change you. Yeah, it'll amplify you. If you're a greedy person and you get money, you're going to continue to be greedy. If you're a generous person, if you're generous with a little, you're going to be generous with a lot. And that's kind of like the parable of the talents, where if God trusts you with a little, he's going to trust you, and you do what you're told, or you do what you're supposed to with a little bit, he's going to give you a lot. So just, I think the biggest thing on that is just don't let anything really change the way you are. Think that one thing's going to change you. The only thing that you should be changing is for the better. Is it mentions is to continue getting wiser. Like I said earlier in this video, the whole point of reading this book and is to get closer to God. But the reason I chose Proverbs is it's a book of wisdom. It's to get wiser. I'm very adamant. I've always been that I want to learn something new every single day. I also am very big on something I learned a long time ago, which is learn, do, teach. That means I learn something, I implement it, and then I teach it to somebody else. That helps me retain it better, and it helps somebody else learn it. So by doing that, I'm constantly growing, constantly getting better, constantly getting wiser, and getting better in different things. So if you're always trying to learn something, always getting wiser, you're just going to become a better person for yourself, for God, and for what he put you on this earth to be. So if we want to look at a couple other verses, it says, a false witness will not go unpunished, and a liar will be destroyed. How many times have you heard, like, the truth is the easiest thing to tell, right? A lot of people try to avoid telling the truth because the truth is hard sometimes. But is it really hard, or are you just trying to avoid an uncomfortable situation? Because sometimes telling the truth might be uncomfortable, but then when you lie, now you got to make up another lie to come up with that one. And then, and literally the Bible says that God treats every sin as equal to the other. I think we've gone over that before. So think about it. Every time you tell that little white lie, you're still sinning against God. So God's still looking at that little white lie like you just committed adultery or did something else that was really, that in our world, considered really bad. We've learned to minimize things or to desensitize ourselves to certain things to where we don't think it's bad anymore. I was actually, I do a family Bible study on Tuesday nights with my wife and my kids. And we were going through this, and we were talking about just like TV shows from back in the day versus today. And there was like, what we thought was bad when I was a kid was like Married with Children was like lewd humor, or even The Simpsons were like their comments. Now those shows, yeah, well, they're still kind of rude or stuff like that, in which they might be looked at wrong in today's views, but then the stuff that we are desensitized to, the stuff that is just like normal life to us that we don't notice, would have never flown back then. We've gone into a world where we are good is evil and evil is good. There is so many different things. I can go down a whole rabbit hole on this, but turn on the internet, turn on the TV, and you'll see there's people talking about God right now, or like Charlie Kirk is one of them. There's so much misinformation about him, and the whole thing, all he was trying to do was preach the gospel, trying to tell people to live a biblical lifestyle. and they've flipped his narrative to make him seem like one of the most evil people on earth, and all he was doing was spreading the gospel. So, but if you really listen to all of that, what he was saying, you'll see that. But if you only listen to what the news tells you, or what CNN or whoever else tells you, they're the only little clips that twist the narrative to try to control our minds. We gotta be smarter than that. We gotta look at the whole picture. We gotta know that there's three truths. There's mine, yours, and the truth, right? So we gotta be very discerning and look at every part of it. And that's part of where getting wisdom is coming from, and asking God for that wisdom and for that discernment. James chapter 5, or James 1:5, I think, says, if you don't have wisdom, ask God for it and he'll give it to you. He's not going to have a problem with it. Solomon, God asked him what he wanted. You can give him anything in the world. Solomon asked him for wisdom. And God was so impressed by him asking him for wisdom instead of money and riches that he made him the wisest man to ever live, and he gave him all the money. Wisdom is crucial to have, and unfortunately not very many people have it. So it's important that those of us that know that need to seek it. Tomorrow is chapter 20. It's going to be on a loyal friend. I will see you tomorrow. God bless you. Have a great night.